Welcome to Gallatin Underground. We're battle stations.
But you ain't from around here, are you? You claim to be some sort of superstar, but around here they don't know who the fuck you are. When the sweet life is way too slow for you, remember that you chose to see the slide from this point of view. All the kings was a sell-off, gone the home there is except for you and yours. I ain't one to stop and drop what I'm doing, see. I can't afford to watch you wait. Born and bred, the age of regret, dead in the eyes of all saints, the eyes of all. 37 passion was something I lost since world to live, but I ain't dead yet, I still have a little left to give. When you see the bastard, so take my team, you tell him, come back around for me. So I ain't one to stop and drop what I'm doing, see. I can't afford to watch you wait. Born and bred, the age of regret, dead in the eyes of all saints.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome, guys. My name is Vince. This is Palafox is Caleb Welch.
Yeah, what's up?
This is our second episode of the Gallatin Underground. Couple quick questions, like how long you guys been a band?
All of us?
Okay, to be specific, how long has Battle Stations been a band?
I want to say 2012. Started in California.
Sweet.
I had moved to California for a short period.
So who was like the founding member of the band?
Me, I guess. Then John. Then Mark. Then Chris.
You forgot Ryan.
Well, Ryan's not here. We had to let Ryan go.
I was the last
I'm
one
kidding.
to. I was the last one to join the band.
We love you, Ryan. Nice.
So you guys should introduce yourselves.
I'm James.
I'm John.
I'm Chris.
Oh shit.
And that's Mark.
That's Mark. He doesn't have a mic. Some asshole didn't set him up one. Well, cool. So, like, what do you think your guys' songs are mostly about?
I don't know. Life, really. I guess that what we just played was St. Martin's Blues, which is really about my love for animals, and yeah, I guess St. Martin's is the saint of animals, right? I think that's how I read it anyway.
Do you guys get as emotional about his songwriting as he does?
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
I'm all in.
How would you guys describe the general vibe of your band?
I think we're pretty easy going.
I think we're a rock band.
A little bit.
From the show I seen you guys play on Saturday at the Zebra, I could say you're definitely a rock band.
Fucking cool rock band.
We started out all acoustic, and now it's
Wait, you started off acoustic?
yeah.
What was that like?
It's hard. It's hard to get up with just your guitar and your voice. You know, it's like it's intimidating, but I think the songs have really evolved into a full band, and we write as a full band.
So everybody writes their own parts.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's not somebody that just like, hey, I really got this thing that.
Well, sure.
Or-
It starts out as someone's idea, and then
Everyone just takes
comes
off
to
and rolls
fruition,
with it.
yeah.
Sweet. I noticed you guys don't really use a lot of effects or anything. You just kind of pick one and roll for the most part. Pretty much distortion on everything, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I got distortion and more distortion. That's it.
So, you guys are all running some pretty different gear. You want to kind of run through your guys' gear real quick, just for the audience?
Right now I'm playing through a Marshall. What is that? The
5150.
Well, I know it's a 5150. It's a 5153 head running through a Marshall compact 412, whatever those are.
Yeah, I don't know what it
Nice.
That's what I'm playing right now. I usually use a PV live 412 cab. Fernandez Ravel, pig hog cables.
Nice. What about you, John?
Just a PV head, PV 115.
Nice. James, it looks like you got a Marshall stack over there.
Yeah, that's my honestly, that's my first amp and really my only amp.
It looks pretty beat up.
Yeah, I've had it since early 90s.
It sounds great.
JCM 950 watt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so warm and toasty. I love that.
Mark, is there a story behind your drums?
We're still uncertain if Mark even has his own drum set.
I seen him once. We did a show at Jester's, and I think we actually put on the flyer featuring Mark Brown's drums
That's right. That's right.
because they're so rarely seen.
Jesus. Okay, so you typical drummer, right? Plays whatever's in front of him.
Yeah. And
I'm not picking.
That's probably the best drummer then. One that can play on any kit, right?
we do have a beater tour kit that we play out. So we try not to travel between, moving the drums up and down the stairs. So we have a beater tour kit that other bands use, when we're playing shows. We're happy to share it with other bands, and they'll make adjustments, and Mark will just play to those adjustments. He's not going to change anything.
Very accommodating of
Yes.
you.
I think before we have another question, we should hear another song.
Okay, that's a great idea, Caleb.
Alrighty. But what song? What song?
What song?
Let's do City Life, man. Yeah. Gun
night and day from that weeding way. I cried for that suicide. So much to keeping that dream alive. 16 gunned down in the heat of the city line. What I wouldn't do for the city line. The night that falls apart, 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 the night that falls apart.
Woo!
Yes, that's awesome.
So I have a question for you guys. What is your biggest influence? Because like I'm hearing like quite a bit of like Offspring kind of vibe. Like, what do you guys think about that?
You can be honest.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I don't think that's I mean, I think some people might turn their nose up to that, but honestly, it's like I mean, to be compared to anything is great, you know. I mean, especially anyone successful.
Right.
So
When I was 16, I had like an Offspring cassette in my car for like ever and just constant rotation. So I could see it. I mean, I had nothing to do with writing that song, but
Who
I
did
get
write
it.
that song?
I did actually. It's started out a lot different. It's about growing up in California and just what you see in a major city if you live there long enough versus a little town in Montana. Things are a lot different. It started out an acoustic song, and the rhythm is, I mean, it's a completely different song now. I guess my roots are definitely in 90s punk rock era.
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
Nice choice.
I can't, I mean, I can't deny that, you know.
What is your like favorite band from that era?
Probably, I want to say Face to Face. I think Face to Face was the most moving for me as far as the way Trevor wrote lyrics was inspiring to me, I
Yeah.
think. Social Distortion growing up, for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Um,
Love Soul Distortion.
I
Not
also,
my favorite, but
Yeah, right. It's
everybody has an opinion.
Exactly.
You know?
I used to cover that band.
Like growing up, I listened to a lot of music. I was fortunate enough to be able to have musical influence within the family. My brother is a phenomenal guitar player, amazing guitar player, and was an inspiration to me. But I was able to learn, like, make my own choices of what I liked and didn't like growing up in the MTV era, you know? Like,
Oh yeah.
when being in the 80s, like, I want to say, I really got involved in, I think, heavy metal because of my brothers, but it expanded. I was listening to Phil Collins and Howard Jones, and Susie and the Banshees and The Cure and Dead Milkmen,
And just pretty much whatever cassette or CD was floating around.
and
Yeah.
Rat.
So speaking of
loved
inspiration, just recently at this last show, one of the audience members referred to you as the grandfather of the scene in Bozeman. How does that make you feel?
They weren't wrong.
No, I don't disagree, but I'm just curious of James's opinion on the matter.
I don't know. I
Does
guess
that make you feel like a local celebrity?
I don't know. I guess initially, unfortunately, yes, it does. It's like, oh, but what about
Everybody else?
right? Yeah, you know, it's like, well,
It's funny. From my experience, I don't know. I think you grow up thinking, oh man, I want to go play in this rock band and be cool. But along the way, and the more you progress, you really start really caring about the other band's progression even more than yours sometimes. And it's kind of what this whole thing is really about, is just to bring the bands together and more of a general insight of who the bands are playing in Bozeman, because we all know that as much as we all want to go out to every show, we might make 1 in 20.
Right,
I mean,
right,
let's
yeah.
be
It's
realistic.
expensive.
It is, but at the same time, it's something that only happens once, and every show is its own thing and its own performance, and some of them aren't as good as others.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
other offset side to that is you might just have that once in a lifetime moment that night, and
Yeah, you
it's
never
always
know.
hard to pick and choose your shows that you can make and not.
Speaking of that, like the last time you guys played was pretty much going to be your last show at the Zebra because the Zebra is closing.
yeah, that's bittersweet.
I can imagine that's the last Battle Station show there. I mean,
Yeah,
probably.
I don't foresee anything coming up within the next 2 months.
How do you guys think the Zebra was like important to the Bozeman music scene?
I think it's crucial.
What are you laughing about?
I recently read something online from a fellow musician here in town, and she was saying how the Zebra is a place where all of us really cut our teeth on. It's where you did, that's where you did showcase your new songs, where it was a stepping stone. I first played there in 2003 or 2. And it was actually hard to get into. It was really hard. It was hard to get a call back. But back then, think about it. Even then, you were cold calling people. You might have been on a cell phone, but you were still calling that person. You weren't waiting for,
A call.
a text or, you weren't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that finding a place to play is fortunately becoming a little bit easier, but it's for a band that's just getting past the open mic stage. I guess it's
I think it's
still
kind of
probably a little
like-
tricky, but
You need to know
everybody
the right
has to
people.
kind of run the ringers and serve their time, if you would. I mean, I don't think there's very many bands that just get up, practice for 6 months, and hop on stage and playing shows for hundreds and thousands of people. It just doesn't work that way. But
It's a hustle. You got to hustle. I mean, it's getting out there, networking, finding other bands to, that are like, hey, let's do a show. Cool. Like, let's figure it out. And it's just one of those things. It's work, It's kind of work a little bit. You got to work at it. You can't just sit there and practice for 6 months and be like, oh, why are we not on this big show here that's coming up? Like, really? Like,
or when you show up to the show that you do manage to land and you just get wasted.
that's true too.
that always helps the band out.
I mean, if you can play drunk, fuck it, right?
Oh yeah, to each his own. I mean, I certainly drank on stage. So you guys obviously have a pretty good following. You've been a band for 7-ish years. I mean, you must have quite a catalog of songs. It's probably pretty hard to pick and choose what to play for the shows and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's nice to play everything sometimes, but then again, as you grow as a band, you know that it gets pretty extensive. Who wants to play that long? You the perfect scenario is that you're gonna leave your audience wanting more. You know,
Right.
I think that
Kind of give them a little tease,
Right.
so they come back out,
right.
and then every now and then you just give them the full shebang, and their mind is blown.
Sure.
All right.
That's what we did on Saturday. I mean,
Oh, you guys absolutely blew minds on Saturday.
we played a lot of songs.
It was incredible, very incredible. So you guys ended with was that debt cord and caviar? Is that right? Is that what that song is? I've watched you, seen a few of your guys' shows, and definitely seems to be your most popular song. What do you think makes it so liked?
I don't know.
Mark, what do you think?
I knew we'd have like 20 of those songs.
That's the secret, right? You're like, oh, let's just make every song badass as that one, right? But it doesn't ever work that way,
No.
unfortunately.
No.
When you guys are writing songs, do you really strive to like make something just super awesome every time, or does it just sometimes just flop out and you're like, I kind of like that. All right,
Sure.
that's good enough.
Sure.
Both?
I think every song starts out as a great idea. But as time goes by, it gets less fun to play. And other songs become more important, more proper.
The structure of the band, if you would.
Sure, yeah.
They kind of bind everything together.
Yes.
Yeah. What's like some of your guys' favorite experiences as playing as a band? I mean, is it the practice or playing shows or going out of town or getting fucked up, or I mean,
I always
all
love
the girls and drugs that everybody gives you for playing music?
I always love just getting out of town to just try something else, play somewhere else, just somewhere new. Just it's kind of what I live for. That's what I go for. I like that.
What about you guys?
I just like to play. I mean, it's fun. It's a good outlet. I think it's
You'd be happy just sitting down here playing as much as you would playing for a crowd?
yeah.
You don't get any more joy out of performing?
No, I do.
For,
I definitely do. It's,
so that's definitely a driving factor for you,
Sure.
is playing for other people and seeing the excitement on their faces, or
if you can reach one person in the audience.
Sometimes there's one person in the audience.
Yeah. Yep.
that's
And
not
when
a
there's
joke.
only one, that means you got to work harder. But if
I don't know. I mean,
Those are the
sometimes
shows that make me
they're
the
like super
most nervous when
personal.
nobody's there.
I mean, I guess it's probably really bad when they don't know who you are. But if it's a buddy, then you're like, well, at least my buddy came down to see me.
But really, if you can reach one person in the audience, I think it's an accomplishment. A fan base is really started with one,
Nice.
and nowhere to go from there but up, right?
I'm going to completely derail the conversation
Perfect.
from what we were just talking about. So, I just wanted to comment on you guys' practice space. It's fucking awesome, dude. Like, there's skateboards on the walls, tons of, like, CDs, like, all your instruments. There's a couch and a TV. And what impresses me the most is, like, this room to the side. That's, like, a library of CDs, albums.
There's a few.
What do you think there is in there? Like 7,000?
It's 14.
14,000?
Yeah.
Wow. That's I was hoping I was on the high end.
He knows where everything is too.
Oh my God. Like to have that wasted memory space just for CDs in your basement. That's awesome. Do you know all the songs on most of them?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
actually.
I would if you said yes to that, I
Well-
might have to walk out right now. That's impressive.
You know, what's funny is when I started collecting was probably the end of the 80s, 88, 89. And slowly from there, I've been.
CD 1, 2, 3, or
Yeah, I can actually tell you what the first 2 CDs I ever owned were.
what were they?
They were Depeche Mode, Music for the Masses, and TSOL's Hit and Run.
Nice. That's a great album.
Mine was the Spaghetti Incident.
One of mine was Fat Music for Fat People Volume 2.
Which
Is-
you know, Fat Records really drove me to collecting, to actually pursue collecting. That was one of the first labels that I really tried to collect everything.
Yeah, I was right with you, man. Seriously,
there are a lot
the
of great
first
bands
4
on there,
are my
man.
favorite. They're really, really part of my life story. You know, I mean, the Fat Music for Fat People Volume 2. For years, I just thought that it was a band called Chuck because that's what's
Sure.
on the face of the CD.
Right.
And it was, you know, I first heard it at my buddy's house. It was his older stepbrother CD, and we just kind of jacked it, and I fell in love with punk rock. And then I realized there was more in this collection. Like, oh my God, like, what do I do? And then I'm like, oh, Punkorama? What? That's a thing? And then, you know, 7 or 8 hit, and I was kind of falling off the face of the earth and needed to look for something a little bit more underground. But yeah, I mean, anything to get anybody into the scene is always something. There's, I don't even know the name of it, but it was some compilation that was recorded in Kalispell. It's like 30 local Montana bands all have one track in there, and that just kicks ass. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to be listening to.
Yeah, that was distributed at Punk and Drublic.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the one that was just that they did just last year.
No, this was about 10 years ago.
Oh,
but,
okay, never mind.
I'll have to show you sometime. It's pretty good, but
Why don't we,
It's in there.
Why don't we hear
it
another
is in there?
song?
Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, let's hear another song, guys.
Going back to how this all started about the grandfather of the scene thing, there's so many before me and that are still active in the scene. So maybe
Give a shout out to a couple of them.
Yeah, for sure. Say a piece.
it's doing better.
Well, he's gonna buy a needle with a $2 cut from the 8-year-old with a bottle in her hand and the head inside. Scott's right by but the cracked out street is giving what he needs to sit down, 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 come anymore. Down, 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 fit anymore. Cracks in the street, the black foot of the heat in the ghetto. Never get out of the ghetto. He's gonna buy a needle with a $2 cut from the fairhead kid with a bonnet on her head and his head inside. Scott's right by but the cracked out street is giving what it needs to say down, 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 come anymore, 'cause you're down, 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 fit anymore. Cracks in the street, the black foot of the heat. Cracks in the street, the black foot of the heat in the ghetto.
T-full.
Well, you guys are so great. But who would you hate to play after?
Everyone.
Everyone. Yes.
If we could play first, that'd be great.
But now playing first, is that just like because you want to like hang out and enjoy the rest of the show and not have to worry about it? Or
Yeah.
like you just feel
We're
pressure?
old.
from
We want to
it?
go home and just go to bed.
Wait, how old are you guys?
I'm 38.
39.
43.
43.
Mark's a baby like 30, ain't he?
31.
He's 31.
All right.
How long have I been in this
I'm a
band?
man. I'm a man. Shit.
I was in my 30s when we started.
So out of those
Keep dreaming.
many years you've been a band, what's like the best show you've ever played?
With battle stations, I'd probably say DOA the first time they were here.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Who did you guys play with?
It was DOA, Heterophobe, Stranded by Choice. Shout out to those guys. Those guys are rad.
A Heterophobe was there?
Yeah, Heterophobe was there. I think that was Heterophobe's first show, actually.
Nice. Those guys.
You don't want
are
to know what they
a
did to
riot.
get on it.
I can only imagine. We heard some stories. They're very open.
There's been a lot of great shows. There really have.
Ooh, now time to get totally evil. What's the worst show you've ever played?
Worst show for who?
The whole band.
Like for this band.
For your band.
Because I can
Like-
vaguely
like
remember
you
some
like-
really bad shows.
Whether it was like you
That's
did
probably
badly
part of it.
or like something caught on fire. Like just where something was really stressful.
Somebody threw something and
like
broke
it wasn't
a
like an
drummer's
enjoyable
head.
show to play.
Gosh, I don't know.
People were just jerks and you were ready to murder. James just loves it so much he doesn't care.
Yeah, I try not to dwell on that. You know, if and when it did.
That's
happen.
positive. That's very positive
Yeah,
mindset.
I think so too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really think of a real bad situation. You know, I can't.
So for somebody who's new to the Bozeman area, what are some of the bands that you guys would recommend checking out?
Oh boy.
Any local favorites?
All of them.
Like who? I'm a new here. I don't
Let's
know
pick,
who they
like,
are.
3.
If I had to pick 3,
Yeah.
Or 30, whatever.
There's as many as you want to list, but at least 3.
Couple of your favorites.
check them all out. I mean, find what you like. Bozeman really has such a great variety of bands, from everybody doing indie stuff to stoner metal to black metal to punk rock. I mean, just go to a
And-
fucking show, for fuck's sake.
Everything in between. There's a lot of what I'm finding with bands here is no one is really locked into one specific style or sound. I think you hear a lot of influence within all the bands. It's pretty cool. And I think it's got a good, strong musical community. But yeah, I'm an old fart anyway. It's all rock and roll to me. But you hear it, like there's the essence of rock in every band, and then bands take that and elaborate into their own style, their own groove, whatever it may be.
Sure, everything is from as simple as some guy playing an acoustic set, maybe bluesy, the open mic, to a touring band such as Snailmate, who comes in as a two-piece and blows everybody's mind with their rock electronic music that came out of what part of their mind, who knows, but it was incredible.
Right.
Yeah, there is a wide variety, everything from the kind of music that you'd expect to hear at Hot Springs and bluegrass to heavy metal and funk and jazz and big band, the Eagles every week. That's first time I rolled into it, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And I'm like, they do this every week. I'm like, these guys are on fire. Like, and they, it's not my particular choice in music, but it was awesome to watch and awesome to see.
I think that goes back to what you were bringing up. You never know what you're going to get when you go out. So it's
just open the door, get in the car, drive downtown,
Take a lap.
yeah.
and see what's out there, guys, because you're not going to find it if you just sit on your couch.
Right.
What about you, John? What's your 3 favorite bands? Varsity Sweater, Battle Stations, and the
And
worst.
Goners.
Oh,
What was the first one? YC Sweaters?
Varsity Sweater.
Varsity Sweater.
Believe it or
what's
not,
that
John's
band
in
about?
another band.
Only one? I mean, that's not heard of in Bozeman.
I know, I'm old though.
Varsity Sweater. Are you guys local or currently playing shows?
We're kind of playing. Our drummer's recovering from shoulder surgery.
Oh, rough.
Oh.
so
That's horrible.
and shows are few and far between, but we do play.
Nice. Same kind of punk rock feel, or
Yeah, a little pop here, but
okay. That's
John plays
nothing wrong
guitar
with
in
that.
that band.
Okay, cool. Switch it up a little. Mark, you're pretty quiet out there. Do you got any feelings on anything? You just like to smile and play drums?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, caveman. All right, cool. All right, let's hear another song, guys.
If the song had a name, it'd be bullshit.
Without taking the line just like a movie, just a little bit far out of reach. Well, I get the feeling that I'm making a comeback. Prequel to books made for TV. Well, tough bullshit if you read between the lines. You're such a psycho, and I'm fine. Yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Nothing ever really lasts forever and a day. Well, I guess it's over, so it seems if you say. How many times you let the mercury rise? One more time, probably survive. Well, tough bullshit if you read between the lines. You're such a psycho, and I'm fine. Yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Gotta build this bridge before we put it down. We got our lives to live just on the edge of town. All around us they're all dead or dying. It's all bullshit if you read between the lines. Yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah. Tough bullshit, yeah.
Okay, I have a dumb bullshit question.
All right,
You
let's
guys
hear
ready?
your bullshit question.
It's so good. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I just think it's like arrogant to think that there's this whole universe and we're the only like beings that
I would agree
intelligent.
wholeheartedly with
Okay, Carl Sagan. I mean,
aliens.
aliens.
I don't know. I've seen some weird shit for sure, but I don't know if it was aliens or whatever. Who cares? It's cool.
What about ghosts, magic? What's the craziest thing you believe?
Well, if they believe in it, why is it crazy?
Whoa. Like something that you admittedly be like, I know you're skeptical of this, but I believe in it.
Like,
Oh, the Earth's flat.
oh, that's just for flat earthers.
For sure.
I mean, I'm still like, is that real? Like, there's, and then Caleb and I were out at one show some night outside of the Zebra, and this dude comes up and
He's like, I'm a flat earther.
oh man, I you know, no offense to the guy, I did listen to him for a while, but you know, after like
10
I don't
seconds,
know.
it was complete nonsense.
you know, how does that, like, do you just like only read Terry Pratchett and watch Discworld episodes or something? Like, I mean, a giant turtle and elephants and shit. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I think this is fucking awesome.
No,
idea,
no.
but,
It's like,
you know,
it's
yeah,
like
giant-
flat surrounded by an ice ring.
I got to go with our friend Matt Campbell. Everything's a sandwich. That's what I believe, like wholeheartedly. Everything's a sandwich.
Why is everything a sandwich?
Because what isn't a sandwich?
Well, a sandwich.
It's
is
got to
a
be
sandwich.
between two slices of bread. Are you telling me that there's a
It
universally
doesn't have to
sized
be in between
slice
two
of
slices
pita
bread.
up there?
I mean, like a pizza is an open-faced sandwich, right?
Well, if you fold it in half, it's a sandwich.
What if we're
Exactly.
a hot dog?
What
if we're a hallway?
What about a
people-
steak?
Ooh, you might have me there, John. But I
Steak
can
is
still
not
put
a
it on
sandwich.
bread.
Ooh,
Got me there.
yeah.
What about you?
Oh boy.
What, his favorite food?
No.
Or
What's
his
the
favorite
craziest
sandwich?
thing you believe in?
I don't know. I don't believe in isms. I just believe in me.
Wow.
Whoa. That might just be crazy enough to be.
So you guys have played
Really cool.
quite a bit of places. You've done some mini tours, or is that correct? Or
Yeah, we've been around. Not, I guess, battle stations. I don't know. Really hasn't traveled out of state since I moved back to state.
okay.
And when I was in California, it was just me.
So, like when you're playing Montana, you know, where are some of the places you guys generally like to travel?
I mean, Kalispell is probably one of my favorites, or the Flathead Valley area.
It's
there's
beautiful up there.
lots of and there's lots of places to play.
And
You played-
they have a
Yeah.
very, very
Completely by
developing
accident.
music scene there.
The first time.
No.
Mosh in the Mountains, 2019.
Speaking of Mosh in the Mountains, how fucking badass is that going to be? Fuck yes.
Hey,
That
we're
would
going to
be
be
great.
playing there.
Yeah. No, yeah. If you guys have not looked it up, check it out on Facebook or
Yeah, they got the
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, which is rad.
Yeah, that's super rad. You know, you guys pay $20, you get in either way. If they reach their quota, everybody gets in for free. Super kick ass, over 18 bands, possibly 20 some to be determined. But it was that June
It was awesome last year.
28th and 29th,
Last
Friday
year
and
was
Saturday.
insane.
Sunday would continued camping and then get the hell out of there. So
Yeah, it's well
definitely
worth it.
check it out. Definitely check it out. You get to see some of the coolest bands in the area.
In some of the most beautiful.
area.
You
Area.
like camp overnight, right?
Private
Oh, yeah.
campground. It's everybody is only there to have a good time and go to this music thing. Nobody else is coming out from outside. It's a private party, private campground. How cool is it? And it's all for the bands. The whole thing was put together by Jared Phoenix, Adam Zula currently. And he just had this desire to bring all these bands together and have a party for the bands. Like, how cool is that? And so you're telling me that you can't cough up $20 to go party for fucking 2 days? And I don't know if you drink or not, but last year there was so many beers there that was just by donation. We didn't even come close to finishing them. And there must have been 150-ish people. When you say something,
I was
like
sitting at a picnic table with like 3 cases of IPA just in front of me,
that. Yeah.
and nobody was drinking them. I was
man.
like, I'll have a few.
Yeah, so if you guys like to drink, listen to music, party in the woods, just chill and relax. Everybody's super friendly. You know, everyone thinks metal, punk rock, it's scary. You're going to get hurt in the pit. Well, don't go in the pit for one. But if you are, the scene here is really nice. I mean,
More likely
everything
to
that I
split
ever
your
seen.
head walking back to your tent
Yeah, oh
in
yeah.
the dark.
You know, time somebody gets a little rowdy and someone gets knocked over, all I seen was people jumping out to help and pick those guys up and making sure they're okay. You know, nobody's out to hurt anybody. It's just a good time, good vibes, good feel, good music. Check it out.
It's worth it.
Super worth it. Awesome. Well, that's fucking super cool. So you brought the board just to the show to get signed for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely cool. So those guys, Agent Orange, you played with them. Obviously, you got to talk with them a little bit. Like they were pretty cool dudes.
Oh yeah, they were great guys. They were
Sweet.
They were a lot of fun.
It's always nice when you know you're a longtime fan and you meet the people that are playing the music and they have a positive response. And you know, I think it's always a bummer when you get the guy that's just pissed off and road weary and doesn't really give you the time of day, but understandable as well.
I think every city, every town, every state has an Eddie Spaghetti.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the way that went.
Eddie Spaghetti.
That was a different band, though. We'll talk about that later.
So who's always late coming to practice?
Honestly, me, I think.
Don't you live here?
Yeah. But usually everyone's here when I get home. Like, I'll get home and take a shower because I get dirty at work. I print T-shirts, so I'm always covered in ink, and I don't want to transfer that to the carpet or the couch or the whatever. You know?
Yeah, that's probably not healthy for the house. Yeah. Well, all right. So that answers that question. And we've already talked about your age range. It's varied.
Oh, I have a question. It has nothing to do with anything.
Perfect.
Cool.
This guy.
What's your favorite shitty movie? Just like you're like guilty pleasure movie.
Easy.
Like this movie sucks, but I fucking love it.
Easy.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It's Dogs in Space.
What the fuck is Dogs in Space?
That's
I've
right,
never
right?
heard of that.
So it stars Michael Hutchins, who was the singer for INXS.
Okay. Devil Inside.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
That guy. You know, the guy that hung himself, right? In a sense.
Didn't know that, but
Something like that.
I didn't
don't
know that
what he
either.
did.
is that surprising if he had the devil inside?
Right? Choking him out. Whack. Anyway, yeah, horrible movie. But wow, what a great movie. It's horribly good.
Horribly good.
Yep. And I think I saw it on the what
Was
is it? The Billy Bob's Drive-In thing on one of them HBO things or something, which I
Spike
hear they're
TV.
bringing back. So maybe I'll get to see it. I have a recorded VHS copy of it, so if anyone's got to be a VHS player,
I've got one at home, actually. Yeah.
those will work.
You have a VHS player?
Yeah, I've got I mean, I wouldn't say it's anything like James' collection
Your
of
age
the,
is showing.
but I've probably got, a couple hundred, maybe or so VHS tapes laying around.
Wow.
I like,
Whoa.
yeah, I like old shit,
What's yours, John?
Retro.
I'd probably have to go with Bring It On.
Bring
Classic.
On.
That
Is that a
cheerleaders
Mel
movie?
Gibson movie? Oh,
There's a cheerleader.
Wow, that is
okay,
guilty-
I was wrong.
Guilty pleasure, John.
Said guilty pleasure.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for any shitty band movie because I grew up watching all that crap like Light of Day and Satisfaction and Purple Rain and like any movie with a band. I to this day I still watch it. I'm gonna watch Lords of Chaos. I heard it's horrible.
Rockumentaries. Yeah. Okay.
Rockumentaries, all that. I'm just
What do you watch a lot of like live concerts and stuff? I know
not so much. I mean,
Netflix had this program. They might still, I don't know, where you rent the DVDs or whatever, and they actually had quite a few live shows that you could check out. I thought that was pretty cool.
I did actually because I was doing I still do the DVDs from Netflix, but just probably for that
Right,
kind of a
just for
thing.
the rockumentary type things. Yeah, the online selection is
Yeah,
pretty
I
limited.
watched like the Murder City Devils like that and stuff like
nice,
that.
nice.
Yeah, but I'm a sucker for all that crap. So
Did you watch Into the Never, that Metallica movie?
I didn't.
Oh,
I think that was the one I was just like pass.
it was actually really good. It was just like the best Metallica medley music video I've ever seen.
And I've seen some other stuff that they've done, like a year in the life or whatever and stuff like that. But
Okay.
How do you guys feel about the way that the music industry is evolving?
it's not.
Is devolving.
You think it's just very stagnant?
I think it is.
Like almost ready to fall off the face of the earth. Stagnant?
You know, I think the world is ready for a new music revolution. I mean, all these bands are getting back together and doing these revival tours, when the Stones have been playing the whole time, right?
yeah, of course.
I think it's time. I think it's time that music change. Do I think that
Do you mean music or do you mean like the record industry?
I don't think the record industry has much grasp on the scene.
I definitely agree with you, very much so. I think that the record companies are so far out of what's actually happening that they're not following anything.
No.
And I feel like the online scene is about as good as it gets, but then your followers are really limited to who you can attract by means of the internet, which is pretty broad and hard.
And that still requires money, finances.
I was
money.
just about to say that
It's who has the biggest bankroll.
Yeah.
Whose dad started 3M or what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I kind of think too, though, it should be kind of interesting to see what happens with the music scene now, like with 2019 coming around with like all these movies about bands. Once again, like that. I mean, that's like how I grew up, and I was like, man, that looks really cool. I kind of want to do that, and that's kind of what started me on the, maybe I should play guitar or whatever. But anyways, like, I mean, you got like Bohemian Rhapsody, Lords of Chaos. There's a Rocket Man coming out with Elton John.
Right.
That Motley Crue movie is gonna suck on Netflix. So should be interesting to see what happens. I mean, maybe some people will get inspired to, do that instead of be a DJ or something.
Sure. I mean, I think like what Pat Lockin's doing down at the filling station where he's live streaming all the shows. I think that's really killer. I think it really helps promote the local bands in a way that most people would not normally see them. I guess the downside is they could just sit at home and watch it, but
it's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
A buddy of mine was talking about how they're creating basically an online purchasing program where you can sit and rent seats to different concerts around the world, and it plugs into your hi-fi system, and you watch it live at home. And to me, it's like, well, you might have the best sound system in the world, but how does that replace being there?
The pay-per-view has been doing that for
I mean, you still get to watch the thing live.
Right.
Yeah, they've been doing live broadcasts,
I guess I've just been living under a stone.
Well, what you see though is, it's boxing. It's the things that they're actually doubling down on in a sense,
Sure.
'cause, let's face it, they have their hands in the gambling side of that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at the same time, I think he was explaining how they have it set up where, you can scroll through the cameras of the drummer or the guitar player,
Sure,
or
sure.
like any aspect or view you want to check out. And I mean, I think that that's a cool idea. I think it kind of takes away from the experience.
Yeah. Speaking of like entering into the new era,
Right.
like who runs your like? Do you guys have social media going at all?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like an Instagram,
We have
Facebook?
Facebook, a Bandcamp. There's some stuff on our Bandcamp.
Oh, what you got on your Bandcamp?
There's a 6 track EP on the Bandcamp.
Nice.
So it's battlestationsrocks.bandcamp.com.
We also posted it in on the Gallatin Underground. You guys can listen to it from there or directly from Bandcamp.
Oh, sweet.
Let's hear one more song and let's wrap it up, I guess. So.
Okay. Come and save me. Come and save me. Destroy the evidence. Come and save me.
Always blown away. You guys are just so tight. That's your newest song? Sort of?
No, I think we did about 4 or 5 new ones, and then
Yeah.
that was
It's Yeah, it's definitely one of the newest ones.
That's so cool. So you guys got a new CD coming out soon, or
No, nothing.
nothing?
No.
Oh, okay, just
You
no.
want to hear us? You
Lazy,
better
huh?
come see us live.
What is the
alright.
next time you guys are playing live?
Just nothing
Never.
yet.
Never.
Okay, so you
Oh.
guys are starting to sound more like heterophobes. It was like, well, if you get a chance, you might be able to ever see them. There was a band that existed once. It was Battle Station. Sorry, not heterophobe. Right on. Well, cool. So that song's fucking awesome. This was great. What do you get? Is there any like shout outs you guys want to give? Like special thanks to support that you've had, bands that you like, places, venues, people, anything particular?
Gosh, I mean,
All of them.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes to see us, thanks. Every place we play, thanks for having us. I mean,
everyone that goes out to shows, thanks. Yeah, that's what really matters is the people. I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Support your local bands.
maybe we should give a shout out to our wives for putting up with our.
Speaking of wives, my bandmate Tommy came up with a brilliant idea for a podcast. If one of your guys' wives may or may not have enough time to do other things, anyways, basically what it entailed was the lives of the wives of musicians in
that's
Montana.
genius.
So if there's anybody out there that's interested in that, we would host it because I'm sure it would be
way more
hilarious.
punk rock than I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Sometimes.
Real Housewives of
Yeah.
Bozeman, Montana.
You'll see my wife in the pit probably more than me as well, but
Oh yeah, my wife gets in the pit.
cool. Well, this was the second episode of Gallatin Underground. Tentatively, our next show will be covering local band Cannabis.
Whoa, that's
And
me. What?
stop bragging.
I'm not trying to. I'm genuinely surprised.
Hey, you're awesome, man.
So yeah,
Don't forget to
check
see
out your local
Cannabis at
bands.
Micah Fest.
Oh,
Shit,
yeah.
Go to
Yeah,
Micah Fest.
everybody go to
Micah
Mike.
Can we
Fest.
give a shout out to Micah
Yeah,
Fest?
give a shout out to Micah Fest.
Micah is a rad dude. I mean, like Archeron is just a sick killer band, and you know he's kind of been the driving force behind that band, and he needs some help. So let's help him. I mean, he's
Talk
a
about
rad
an
guy.
inspiration.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
super sweet people. Everybody in Archeron, love all those guys.
Super awesome. Cool. Well, like I said, this was episode 2. Tune in for episode 3 and check out your local bands. Don't be afraid to get off the couch and do something. Thanks.
Or just watch them at home.